Hello, today's top sewing tip is to make different types of darts. You will often get a bust dart on the side seam here, or you might get ones coming up from the waist to shape from the waist up, or you might also get a one that's in the body to take a waist shaping. Firstly, I'm going to show you how to mark a dart. I mark bust darts with carbon paper and a serrated wheel. It's blunt, this isn't a spiky one, and this transfers the yellow carbony ink onto the fabric. I've already done it on my actual top, but I'm just going to show you on a piece of fabric. So on the reverse side, have the reverse side of your fabric facing up, because it does wash out, but you just want to be sure. And then you put your fabric underneath, your pattern piece on top, and then between the two, like a sandwich, you're going to put a piece of the carbon paper with the gluey side down, and then you use the wheel to trace off the shape that you want. This works for any kind of markings that you might have to put onto something. And then you will get a little dotted line marked onto your fabric. Another way you can do it is to do tailor's tacks. So through the paper and the fabric, you just pull a little bit of thread, double. So you double the thread on your needle and you just pull 2 bits through the paper, and then you can do it in another place to indicate the direction of the dart. This one just tears your paper a little bit more, just damage your pattern piece. So it depends if you've traced it off onto separate tissue, if you like to keep your patterns original. And then when you peel the tissue away, your tacks will be indicating the top point of your dart, where the dart goes out to its gradient, and then you could mark 2 more on the bottom, but I was just showing you what they were. So these are tailor's tacks, and then when you've sewn your dart, when you bring the tailor's tacks together, you can then sew it and pull those out afterwards. Putting the dart in is normally the first part of a pattern, so you bring the pieces together and you're going to pin it along the dart line and check on the reverse. Just keep adjusting until you've got your pin going through the line on both sides of the dart, and making sure that your pins will be able to be pulled out easily when you've got it under the machine. So you pin the dart. If you're new to sewing and you're not so confident, you might want to tack your dart. You might also want to tack your dart to try it on, to check that the dart is in the right place. To sew your dart, you start at the wide end and sew out to the narrow end. And you're going to go forwards and back at the beginning, and then sew a straight line along the dart without making any sudden attempt to take your dart off the end. It's got to be very, very, very gradual. And then when you get to the end, you just need to turn your wheel twice to get 2 air stitches. And you don't go forwards and back there. And the air stitches mean you've got a tiny little bit of spare thread at the end here for tying a knot without causing a pucker. Hand tie off the end of your dart and you're ready to press. When you press your dart, try and press rather than dragging. Make it quite firm. So do it from the wrong side and then you can press it from the right side. Pressing over a ham will give you a nice curve and you won't be putting an extra crease in your dart. Again, try and hold it down, but you might just need to work it a little bit on the end. You should have a dart that runs smoothly out into the fabric, not have a little knobble on the end. If you're getting a little knobble on the end, it's because you've come off too sharply and you need to make it more gradual as you go towards the end of your dart. The second type of dart you might encounter is one that gives you a shaping on your waist, and it tends to be a sort of big long diamond shape, and you can mark that with your tailor's tacks in the different points and then join up the dots, or you can use a carbon paper. Now for this one you need to bring the centre dots together first, and then the midpoint dots together out to your smooth end. So again, the same principles apply. You're going to take that point off as gradually as you can. If you nip off the end, you'll get a little bobble. To join those together, and this time it's the same principle again as the dart. You don't start at one end, go out and then go off to the other end, because one of those ends then would have a back stitch on it. So you need to start in the middle and go out to the end, then back to the middle and out to the end. Hand tie off your end threads. Make sure you haven't got a gap in the middle, that you've definitely met up with your two bits of reverse stitching. And now it's time to press this dart, but you will need to split this thicker bit of fabric at the back, so you'll need to clip into there. You need to make sure that the item that you're making actually fits, because once you've cut into there you can't change the dart. So with these type of darts it's good to try them on first, because as soon as you've snipped into there, then you can't change the width of that dart once you've done that. There we are, finished. It's taken in a larger amount here and less here, but you shouldn't be able to see it. It should be as smooth as the previous type of bust dart, but you just need to make sure that you've tried it on before you cut. And that's how you make smooth darts. If you've got any comments, leave them below, or any questions, we can try and answer them for you. And join us again soon for some more sewing tips.